What is up, everybody? Matt Moda here to give you my favorite NFL player prop picks. We're talking Monday Night Football, Ravens versus Chargers. It should be an awesome game. I'm going to have two bangers for you guys to lock in for this Monday Night Football game. Again, we're talking NFL Monday Night Football, November 25th. Technically, it's actually only one bet to lock in at this current moment in time. The other bet, the books don't have odds out for, which is very, very frustrating. So I'm going to give out all my analysis of how I would lock in that bet once we have odds. And then make sure to follow me on Twitter, and then I'll send out picks there and to my Dub Club as for the official bets. But before we get into that, we got to do a recap. And it's been a pretty good season overall. We're up over 25 units on the year. We're up over 22% ROI on the year as well. As opposed to recapping the entire Week 12 as a whole, I'm recording this before the Sunday night game, so I don't have a full recap for you guys. So I'm just kind of giving you the recap on the entire season as opposed to Week 12 specifically. But as you can see, it's been a very, very good season overall. Let's hope that by the time you're watching this, we had a very, very good Sunday. And let's hope that this continues into Monday night. Again, remember to like the video, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. So play number one in the official bet that we are locking in is actually a ladder play. It's Justin Herbert, 275 plus passing yards, plus 135 odds at Bet365. Full unit McSlam on that bad boy. And then we're taking Justin Herbert, 300 plus passing yards, plus 255 odds at DraftKings. We're putting a half unit on that bad boy. So we're going right back to the system play of targeting quarterback passing props against the Ravens defense. So this is a play that we have been on for most of the season. Now, we did get burned by it last week, taking Russell Wilson, and he did not come really even close to hitting his passing prop, but he got to take a step back from 1 week. On the entire season, it's been incredibly profitable. The Ravens have allowed the most passing yards per game in the entire NFL. They're allowing 304 passing yards per game, and they're the only defense that is allowing even above 300. The next closest team is the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're allowing 288 passing yards per game. So they're the only team above 290 and the only team above 300, far and away, allowing the most passing yards per game in the NFL. And they're honestly the perfect combination of a defense that you want to target. They have a very, very good offense, like literally the best offense in the NFL, according to DVOA. So the opposing offenses that the opposing offense of the team that's playing the Ravens constantly needing to score to keep up. So we have that. The Ravens also have a very good run defense and a very bad pass defense. So they're constantly winning. Teams are constantly needing to throw the ball on them, and they're constantly having success doing so, and teams can't run the ball against the Ravens. It's literally a match made in heaven for quarterback passing props. And to give you guys some numbers to back up what I'm saying here, the Ravens have the 6th best rush defensive DVOA in the NFL. They're allowing the 2nd fewest rushing yards per game on the 2nd lowest rushing yards per attempt as well. But as mentioned earlier, they're allowing the most passing yards per game. Literally every single quarterback against the Ravens, except for 2, have hit their passing prop over/under against the Ravens. Josh Allen missed it about a couple months ago, and then Russell Wilson missed it in his last game. Now we're looking at Justin Herbert. You can't look at the entire season because it's been a flip in the Chargers season over the past 5 weeks. To begin the year, Chargers were one of the most run-heavy teams in the NFL, but that's flipped since then. And to give you guys context, first 5 weeks of the NFL, the Chargers were literally had the number one rushing rate in the entire NFL. They ran the ball 52.1% of the time. That was number one in the first 5 weeks. Since then, 10% lower. They've only run the ball 42.2% of the time, meaning they're throwing the ball just under 60% of the time. In terms of the entire NFL, that's still more run heavy than normal, but it's not nearly the same rate as it was at the beginning of the year. So you can't look at the Chargers as this testosterone, run the ball down your throat type of team, because they haven't been that way for over a month now. And looking at Justin Herbert, in those first 5 games of the year, he did not exceed 275 passing yards in any of those first 5 games. Now, he spent some time injured, of course, but did not go over 275 in any of the first 5 games. And since then, he's done it in 4 of the last 5 games. So like a very clear shift in the offensive philosophy for the Chargers. Also has to do with they were playing some of the worst defenses or worst offenses in the first 5 weeks, and they never needed to throw the ball. That's changed as well. And with wide receivers Ladd McConkey, Quentin Johnston coming around for the Chargers, they got Will Dissly at the tight end position. He's got some weapons to throw to. You know, at the beginning of the year, we were worried, like, who the hell is Justin Herbert going to even pass to? They've had some weapons starting to come their way. Their offensive line is starting to take shape as well. So just a lot of reasons to like this Justin Herbert passing prop. Again, 275 plus for a unit, 300 plus for the ladder play. And now we're going to go ahead and call this as a lean. As of right now, it's Justice Hill, either receptions or receiving yards. I have receptions on the graphic here, but I just want to see how the odds shake out. Normally, his reception prop is going to be priced at an either very juiced over under 1.5 or a plus money towards the over under of 2.5, with his yards normally priced around like 18.5 to 21.5, something like that. So I just need to see what the odds end up actually being, but it's just a smash play on Justice Hill receiving props, receptions, receiving yards, whatever it may be. As soon as we have odds out, I'm going to send out plays, again, either to my Twitter or to my Dub Club. Dub Club gets it first. Dub Club always eats first, and then Twitter after that. But again, this is just a really, really good play for Justice Hill and his receiving props against the Chargers. The Chargers aren't like the worst defense in the NFL in regards to running back reception props, running back receiving props, but they're definitely on the side of the defenses that you want to target, especially for receptions. And that's just the kind of defense that the Chargers play. They play a ton of zone, which we're going to get into. That means zone defense generally means you accept dump offs to the running back, and then they just try to limit yards after the catch. So to kind of give you some numbers behind that, the Chargers have allowed the 7th most receptions to running backs in the entire NFL. 7th most. Again, it's not telling you they're like number 1, but still, 7th most is still obviously a plus matchup. And in general, the Chargers have been good for running back reception props. Just you look at props.cash, you look at like running backs that had odds out, that had a receptions prop. 10 of 13 running backs against the Chargers have cashed their over receptions prop. And you look at Justice Hill, he's a matchup type of running back, right? This is only the second time that I have been on Justice Hill receptions prop because it's all about the defense that he's playing. If the Ravens play good run defenses, they play teams that allow the running back to record kind of receptions props out of the backfield, they'll use Justice Hill in this role. Just look at the best receiving games that Justice Hill has had this year. More often than not, it lines up with the team that is weak towards guarding running backs through the air. His best game of the year from a passing perspective was against the Bills. 6 receptions for 78 yards. The Bills allow the second most receptions to running backs on the year. Another good game, and this one's important. He had 3 receptions for 44 yards against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Bucs allow the 3rd most receptions to running backs, and I'm going to get into why that's important. Just remember the Bucs. And then another good game he had, 3 receptions, 43 yards against the Broncos, 4th most receptions the Broncos allow to running backs. So again, his ceiling is kind of 3-4 receptions, with his yards being about the 40 mark that's his floor, I should say, 3 receptions with 40 yards against these juicy running back targets for passing props. And Justice Hill is you might not think of it because he's a running back, he's a zone beater for the Ravens passing attack, right? Like when they're playing zone defenses, they use Justice Hill in the receiving game. It's a point of emphasis for the Ravens. Since week 5, the Chargers have run zone at the highest rate in the NFL. Literally number 1, even higher than the Bucs. And they're the only one of 2 teams that have run zone at a higher rate than 80% in this stretch. As I mentioned, Justice Hill is a zone beater for the Ravens. He has the highest targets per route run on the entire Ravens team against zone coverage, higher than Zay Flowers, higher than Mark Andrews, higher than any of their receivers. Number 1 in targets per route run against zone coverage. Now, he's not on the field a lot, but what that's telling you is that when he's on the field against zone coverage, they're making it a point to target him. And I told you to remember the Bucs. The Bucs, again, play zone at the highest rate on the entire season. The Chargers, the highest rate since week 5. Against the Bucs, Justice Hill had 3 receptions for 44 yards. Again, his props normally priced at like over 2.5 receptions. Yards are in the high teens, low 20s. So I really do think that there is going to be some value on Justice Hill receiving props. We just need to see what those odds shake out at. So again, we'll be sent out to Dub Club and Twitter. Dub Club is just where I send all my plays out across all sports. NBA also goes to Dub Club. $5 a month gets everything I'm playing sent to your phone. So if you're interested, link is in the description of the video as well as the pinned comment. But for this video, that is all we got. I appreciate everybody for watching and have a good one.